WTN's Teresa Tomeo is out on the mall. She is with all of the wonderful pro-life people who are walking and bringing signs and getting ready to hear all of the speakers, including the Vice President of the United States, who will be there at 12:20.
So
now she's talking, Teresa, right, to the Silent
Yes.
No More members. Tell us about that. Who are they?
Oh, amazing ministry, Lauren. And I'm blessed to have as my co-host on our Catholic View for Women program, of course, on Wednesdays, repeated on Friday mornings, Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the EWTN network, with Janet Morana, who is Executive Director of Priest for Life and the co-founder of the Silent No More Awareness Campaign. And she is here to my far left. And then there's Leslie Blackwell, who's a regional coordinator for Silent No More, and Nancy Tanner, also a regional coordinator. Silent No More is a ministry that allows men and women who've been impacted by abortion, either having an abortion themselves, or men who have maybe have lost fatherhood, to join this ministry after they go through healing, to tell the truth about what abortion really does to people. And I'm going to start with Janet and have Janet give us a little bit of history of how the movement began. Janet.
Well, first of all, in 2002, Georgette Fournier and I got together and created the idea, basically, because we knew so many women who had been hurting after abortion and gone through healing. And we said, at the other side, they're out there trumpeting like abortion is great for women. And we said, no, we know it's damaging. And so we thought of a way to get them out there, being Silent No More. And actually, this is our 15th year of coming to Washington in front of the Supreme Court and giving testimony. So we want to invite everyone after the march to come up to the Supreme Court and hear these testimonies. We'll be up there probably about 2-3 hours.
And EWTN will be there. Our crew from EWTN News Nightly will be waiting, and they'll be covering that. So you'll be able to watch some of that, of course, Lauren, in our continued coverage.
And I'd like to point out, if they want to take these testimonies after the fact and spread them, just go to abortiontestimony.com. We have a search engine there. You want to see testimony of women who were raped and then had an abortion, they're there. You want to see testimonies of women who had first trimester or even late-term abortion, it's there. These women bravely give their stories for you to use them. And if there's anyone out there hurting, just go to abortionforgiveness.com, put in your zip code, you can see where's the nearest Rachel's Vineyard and other healing ministries right in your area. Because the other reason why these ladies speak out is we want to bring healing to this nation.
Yeah, it's really interesting, Lauren. Yesterday on my show, we were talking with Father Sheridan from Franciscan University, who's going to be joining me a little bit later, and we were talking about the march last week and about post-abortion and talking about the abortion issue and how the media, as you and I were discussing earlier, don't talk about us, don't talk about the issues and act as if we don't exist. And a man called in, and you ladies will appreciate this, and he was a very successful lawyer, and he said, my girlfriend and my wife, I think they were single at the time, but they eventually got married, had an abortion. And he said, I lost my child to abortion 42 years ago. And his voice started to crack during his time on my program, and you could hear the pain. He said, I've been through Project Rachel, I've gone through a weekend, he said, but at the same time, there's still that loss. And this is something that you ladies hear all the time. Leslie, you were in the secular media, as I was, and we bought into those lies as feminists growing up in the 70s.
It was all about my career, and I ended up senior year of college finding out I was pregnant as I found out I had that dream job in TV. Went and took care of things, thought it was going to be just fine. Soon enough, I was pregnant again. 2 abortions in about a year and a half. And it destroyed my television career. I ended up giving up my babies for a career. And then I was so broken, it destroyed it. I ended up getting back into the television business, but my golly, those abortions really did something profoundly deep in my soul. And they haunted me, and it took almost 30 years, Teresa, to finally deal with it, connecting the dots of that pain, the years of substance abuse, eating disorders, just feeling so unworthy. Thank the good Lord, He opened my eyes, and I started realizing that was really at the root of my problems. Yeah.
And thanks be to God for the healing and for the forgiveness. And Nancy, you and I have often spoken of the lies that Planned Parenthood tells about how wonderful and how you'll be fine after abortion. One of their latest, advertisements or promotions for Planned Parenthood is that they're parading, Lauren, these young women out there who've had abortions after, let's say, a month or 6 weeks, and talking about how wonderful the quote-unquote clinic was. And yet, what you know through your work in Silent No More, and the research shows, afterabortion.org, great website with all kinds of research, the research shows that many women don't even realize, as you just said, Leslie, connecting the dots takes a while because they're thinking right away, well, I go in and quote unquote the problem is solved temporarily.
Relief's the first.
The initial feeling is that relief. It's like, oh, it's over. But that very quickly fades into a depression. And it hits everybody in different ways. But that's an unresolved grief that part of you has died. And to not go through healing further handicaps you the rest of your life. And people often don't realize, as you said, if you connect the dots, it's like, oh, all these other problems, all of a sudden it comes crashing in. We have women who have had abortions 30, 40 years ago that it's just registering with them now. Often when women hit the end of their child-rearing years, it comes tumbling in, oh my gosh, what did I do? Different triggers in life, other losses. It all brings back to that one central loss, or multiple losses for some people, that you miss that child. It's not natural to kill your child, and your body knows that. And it'll come back and haunt people in different ways. But we're here to give
Praise
the
God.
message of hope and healing, and God's mercy is greater than any sin, including abortion.
What's so frustrating to me as a new feminist in the Catholic Church is that we don't hear these voices out there in the public. Lauren, we were talking, we're media people, we've been in the news media our whole lives, and it's very frustrating on such an issue that so many people claim is such a right, that the voices of sisters, fellow feminists in many ways, they deny them the chance to speak, and often when they're at the Supreme Court, and we'll see a little bit later, the protesters try to drown them out with signs, get over it. And the news media concentrate, if they do show up, if the media do show up, what they're doing is they're actually focusing just on the Planned Parenthood people are there. There's always at least two sides to every story, and these stories need to be heard. The women who've gone through this, the men who are struggling with lost fatherhood. You will see the signs today on the rally stage, I regret my abortion, or I regret lost fatherhood. You're seeing more men involved, aren't you, Janet?
Absolutely, yeah. We got our first man back in 2004, but now more and more men, and now couples are actually giving testimony together, the husband and wife together, after going through.
I had a couple call into my show yesterday. They're coming here for the first time.
That's right. And so, this is why you don't know, why do we have so much divorce in America? It's unhealed abortions, because their whole relationship as a couple has been destroyed because of that abortion. I can tell you stories where women say, I couldn't forgive my husband for the longest time. I had one of the girls on my radio program too, and interviewed her, and she said, our marriage, we went to counselor after counselor, no one was dealing with the abortion. It wasn't until they went on Rachel's Vineyard, dealt with the abortion together as a couple, and now their marriage has been healed. So we really want to encourage people, go to abortionforgiveness.com. The healing is there, and everyone listening right now, even if you don't know any, I'm guaranteeing you got to know someone who's had an abortion, but be ambassadors of this message. Encourage your priest to put that webpage, had abortion, need help, abortionforgiveness.com. Should be in every parish bulletin. We have millions of hurting people, and if they want to know why the pews are emptying out, because they think the church is against them, we have to tell them the doors of the church are open. Christ's mercy is endless.
Teresa, deacons shouldn't be afraid of the message, because it always comes with a message of hope, healing, and love. As you said, God's mercy is new every morning. And do not think that if you had an abortion that God doesn't love you. That is simply a lie from the evil one. And again, the website for more information?
SilentNoMore.com, abortionforgiveness.com, and abortiontestimony.com. All the information's there.
And Lauren, we're just so grateful that we have the opportunity to allow these beautiful women to tell their stories, and for Janet to tell the history of this incredible ministry which continues. Back to you in the studio.